You don't have a money problem. You have internal blocks and negative beliefs and mentality around money that is keeping away the wealth and abundance that you seek. Today, I'm going to break down how to remove your money blocks in 3 simple steps. And here's a statistic I want to start out with. Did you know that 70% of lottery winners, so individuals that come into millions of dollars of winnings, blow it all within 3 to 5 years? So it's not a money problem, it's an identity problem. And what happened is they don't have the mentality of a millionaire, so they unconsciously sabotaged all of their winnings. Same thing happening for you right now. You don't have a wealthy, abundant mentality, which is repelling the exact thing that you want. So let's dive into how that got formed, and better yet, how to break it, because I want you to know you are not broken. But until you upgrade your money mindset, until you upgrade your beliefs around money, you will continue to struggle in effort or survive or just get by. And I love the idea from Florence Scovel Shinn's book, in which she writes that your birthright is what she calls the square of life. It is your natural inheritance to have full expression, love, wealth, and health. And if any of those aren't currently what you're experiencing, it's 100% an inside job. So let's get to it. We have to start at the top. It is your identity that drives your behaviors, and it's those that then create your signal, your frequency, which creates your results in life. That's it. So what I like to do as a mindset coach is we get to the root cause. And most people are unaware of their limiting beliefs or scarcity thoughts when it comes to money and abundance. So I want you to take a moment right now and think about what comes to mind when you think about money or rich people. So for example, paradigms like the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, or that's just for rich people. Or what happens to you, so pay attention to this, what happens to you when you see a fancy car or a big home? A lot of people feel contraction and think that those people are cheaters, or they're greedy, or they're evil. So if those are your thoughts and beliefs about money or people with money, you will continue to repel it. And here's the big thing. When we get to identity, which is your beliefs, your perceptions, and your self-image, much of this was programmed into you in your early years. So from birth up until age 7. So a lot of people talk about the idea of generational trauma, but this comes to poverty thinking. Poverty is like a mental illness. But if you grew up around money's hard to come by, or working paycheck to paycheck, or feeling that stress and anxiety, you're just going to perpetuate the cycle until you become self-aware, and that's what we're going to do today. So now that you understand that your current dollars in your bank account, your current results, we could reverse engineer and realize that it's your behaviors and identity that's driving the show. That's why working harder, hustling and grinding, living in high stress and burnout isn't getting you any closer to where you want to be. In fact, a lot of that is creating more and more stress and anxiety around it, keeping you broke. And I can speak from personal experience around this. I remember years ago starting out as an entrepreneur, which that alone is a huge identity shift from employee to entrepreneur. I went from a stable paycheck to a lot of uncertainty. And I went for a period, months, with no clients, which created a lot of stress and a lot of scarcity around money. And then I did this internal work I'm going to show you, and like that, I signed 5 new clients in a 4-week period. Nothing changed in my marketing, nothing changed in my content. The only thing that changed was my identity and my internal energy. So let's get into the first step. The first step to removing your money blocks is realizing your identity and your beliefs around money. And the big thing here is when you're stuck in survival, when you're stuck in scarcity or lack or worry or fear, the signal that you're putting out is chaos and static and noise. And like I've talked about in all of my content, you don't attract what you want in life, you attract what you are. And that's when we're talking about signal or your frequency, which is all stemmed from your emotional baseline. So let's just draw this out. This is how you've created your current results in life, and I want to help you create that abundance and wealth that you are seeking. Your identity is made up of three things. It's your habitual thoughts, your emotions, and your habits, your actions. That's it. But we have to start first at thoughts. And that's why in the very beginning of this, I asked you to become aware of your beliefs about those with money or your beliefs about money in general. And beliefs are just thoughts you keep thinking. They're thoughts on repetition, which means they're really hardwired in your mind. So if you think money's hard to come by or there's never enough, if those are your thoughts, that is driving emotional states like fear, worry, stress, anxiety, etc. And it's your emotions that drive your behaviors. So perhaps you're in analysis paralysis, you're overthinking, which again is a stress state, you're procrastinating, you're afraid to spend money, so fear of spending money. You're a tightwad. You don't go and do the things because you're telling the story that I don't have enough money. And then look, you're just perpetuating the cycle. So then your current results, so those three things create your results. So then you look at the dollars in your bank account, which just reinforces your identity, and you stay in this stuck loop. You're stuck in survival. So again, we have to get to the emotional baseline of this. And if you're living by the emotions of fear, worry, scarcity, lack, stress, and anxiety, you are in a contracted state. Your frequency, your signal is contraction, it's fear. And look at that. When you're white knuckling your way through life, when you have a tight closed fist, you are not open to receive. You're literally kinking the hose of the very thing that you want based on your thoughts and emotions. That is it. Your thoughts and emotions are driving everything, all of the results in your life. So until you change who you are being, your thoughts and emotional states, you will continue living in survival and lack. So let's just get clear. What would it look like if you stepped into a wealthy state of being? What would it feel like if you were an abundant identity? So let's just draw that out. Somebody who is abundant, we have to get clear. What would their thoughts be, their emotions, and their actions? That's why the idea of the rich get richer. Their signal is strong, it's abundant, it's flow, it's ease, they're generous. The poor get poorer because they're contracted, and it's 100% an identity game. So somebody who is wealthy and abundant, flowing over here, whether or not you like them, so I don't know why, but this is coming to mind, the Kardashians, or Jeff Bezos, or Elon Musk, or these other individuals who have millions and billions of dollars. It's not that they're lucky. It's not even that they're, quote, right or moral, but they have the identity of an affluent person, and that's why more abundance and flow comes to them. So whether or not you like those individuals, let's just get down to their traits and characteristics so you can experience this in your life as well. So somebody who is abundant, flow, and an ease, Oprah's coming to mind. Oprah's very giving. Oprah is philanthropic. She helps others. But she is thinking abundant, so she thinks in opportunity. She thinks big. She thinks in flow. She's feeling grateful, ease, joy, and her actions align with that. And she's giving and generous. Because think about it like this over here. Somebody who's feeling fearful or broke or not enough isn't generous and isn't giving because there's not enough to go around, right? Not enough. There's not enough. There's never enough. And that's the identity. That's their signal. And that's why they stay broke. But somebody over here, they're just thinking and feeling different. So I want you to pause and do this exercise right now. Get really clear on your thoughts and emotions around money. And then get really clear on, I want you to paint a picture. If you had your ideal life right now, the home you're living in, the experiences, the travel, the luxuries, eating at nice restaurants, not shopping on the clearance rack, having an overflow abundance of opportunity or clients or business, how would you be thinking and feeling? And I want you to write those down. What thoughts would you be having? You would be feeling grateful, joy, empowered. You would feel relief. You would feel ease. And because you have so much overflow, you want to give back. And then guess what? All of those results are going to reinforce that identity. And now you are in this new abundant overflow. That's the identity piece, but this is only step number one. This is crucial because without the new identity piece, your behaviors and signal will not change, and neither will your bank account. So this is the very first step. Identity is everything. Now you have to get really clear and make sure you do this work. So now that we can move into step two. Now step two is crucial, and it took me a long time to really understand why the needle wasn't moving, why no matter what I did, that my bank account wasn't growing, that money wasn't coming in, that I was perpetuating the cycle, because I didn't understand the power of your nervous system. And if you don't regulate your nervous system, which think of your nervous system as the powerhouse, it's literally like your house being on fire. So remember, if you're living in survival, that's your identity, and you're in fear, stress, worry, and lack. This state of being, this identity is literally like your house being on fire, and you're in there using affirmations, 3-6-9 method, writing out, scripting, and you're trying to rearrange the furniture in the rooms while your house is on fire. That's why affirmations on their own do not work. I don't care how much scripting and vision boarding you're doing. If your nervous system, so this is step number two, you have to regulate your nervous system. If you don't regulate your nervous system, then you're over here absolutely wasting your time, and most of the time digging a deeper hole. But when you stop this, when we put the fire out, and here's how you can regulate your nervous system. You could do this through morning meditation, breath work, journaling. You could do it in a cold plunge. Whatever you need to do, the key here is presence. You need to calm the internal chaos, the fight or flight, because that's what's happening. When your nervous system is dysregulated because you're living in these survival states, it's literally like the alarms are going off. You are living internally in fight or flight mentality. And that internal dysregulation creates a messy, chaotic signal, which is why you're not having the money that you want. So once you understand the new identity piece, who you need to show up as, then you have to regulate the nervous system. So here's how you can do this. First thing in the morning, before you start your day, before you check your phone, before your mind defaults back into the survival state, and this could be done in a few minutes. We're talking like 2 to 5 minutes. If you just sit there and create presence through breathing, through meditation, listening to solfeggio frequencies or nature music, whatever you need to do to calm the nervous system, to bring all your power to the present. From this state of being, we can move into step number 3. So step number 3 is all about rewiring your beliefs. So 1 is identity. 2, you have to regulate the nervous system. Now, once you've regulated the nervous system, this is when you could bring in things like affirmations. But what you really have to do in the rewire stage, which this is the idea of rewiring your identity, and so you'll get new wanted behaviors. In order to successfully rewire your identity and then to get up from your meditation or your morning practice as that new identity, so that you start behaving like a wealthy individual, even if you're currently broke or just getting by. If something to feel wealthy and abundant means tipping $1 or giving $1 away, or just doing something that feels good, that makes you feel empowered and wealthy, you are now creating a new coherent signal, no longer static, no longer living in the survival state, and you will inevitably get new results, new dollars, new opportunities, more money in your bank account. So let's get back to step number 3, rewire. In this state, the key here is that you have to be using your conscious mind, which is the thoughts. So your conscious mind are your thoughts. And this is when you could use affirmations if the statements make you feel good. But for example, if you're currently broke and you're affirming, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am a millionaire, your subconscious mind is going to reject it because that is too far away. But you could use a statement such as, money flows easily, I am always supported, opportunities are everywhere. Use a statement that your mind can latch onto, and then combining the conscious mind, which are your thoughts, and your subconscious mind, which are your emotional states. So if you're now thinking these new abundant thoughts and you're feeling grateful, free, you're feeling relief, you're feeling abundant, and through repetition you combine thinking and feeling, you are now neurologically rewiring your identity through the thoughts and the feelings. But the key here is it takes repetition and consistency. You can't have a great morning meditation in which you've regulated your nervous system and you're rewiring through thinking and feeling, and then spend the rest of your day, 16 hours or whatever that looks like, back defaulting into survival mode. That's like putting one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. You're going nowhere. The key here is, remember, first step is always awareness, but becoming aware of your current identity, living in these survival states. That's it. There's no judgment here. We're just shining a light on who you've been. Then, once you understand your current beliefs, money's hard to come by, opportunities don't come my way, that doesn't happen for people like me, money's hard to come by, we have to rewrite them. Now here's where you get to consciously choose what is being impressed on your subconscious. Because what you impress on your subconscious is what you express in your reality. If this is something new to you and you want to fast track where you are and start living this wealthy, abundant lifestyle, this is exactly what I coach my clients through. I invite you to schedule a breakthrough call, and you can learn more by clicking on the link below or visiting my website, heatherhakes.com. What I coach my clients through, whether you want money, opportunity, health, a partner, because remember earlier I said, you don't attract what you want. You don't get wanted results, you only get who you are being. So everything I do with my clients is all based on identity, because until you change who you are being, your habitual thoughts, emotions, and actions, nothing in your life will change. That default survival identity will always get back in the driver's seat of your life. And that's what living in autopilot looks like. So I want to wrap this up and summarize what this looks like for you, because you don't have to live another day, another month, another year, or a lifetime being broke. Because remember what Florence Scovel Shinn said, the square of life, having health, wealth, love, abundance, and full expression is your birthright. So when you put these 3 steps into play, and this is absolutely crucial, regulating your nervous system so that your house is no longer on fire. When you create calm and peace within, And then you, through repetition and consistency, rewire through thinking and feeling like that new version, that new abundant version of you. And you get up from your meditation and you start acting in alignment with this new identity. You create a very coherent, abundant signal, and you literally become a magnet, drawing the resources you need, the synchronicity, the opportunity, the money to you based on who you are being. And that is how you upgrade your money mindset. That is how you become wealthy and abundant. And I am telling you, whether you want to create $100,000, $1 million, or 100 million, it's all the same steps. And once you put this into play, you can create any reality you choose. If you have any questions based on this, please drop them in the comments below. I'll come back and answer them, or I can create new videos around them. Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you're the first to know when new videos drop, and give me a thumbs up. I'll catch you on the next one.